If you want freedom and you don't want to work for somebody else, you need a personal brand.
You're letting your own ego, aka your fear of judgment, rob people and deny people of access to information that you have.
Yeah, I'm going viral all the time and I'm getting, 100,000 impressions on my posts a day. I don't pay ads. It's just all organic.
It's either you're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to get the eyeballs or you're making the content.
Yeah, now you can go viral if you have 100 followers. Nowadays, the algorithms have changed, which means you need to figure out.
I don't think that I know of that many people that understand the business behind branding better than you.
Oh, thank you.
And so what you do better than I think most people is you find these really, really niche pockets and you just attack them.
Mm-hmm.
So you were able to attack LinkedIn, you were able to attack podcasting. So for people that are watching and listening right now, I'm going to have questions that are both selfish and serving. So I'm going to ask questions for you guys. So like LinkedIn, you're probably the queen of LinkedIn. You're the self-appointed queen of LinkedIn. And so you have made millions of dollars from LinkedIn. And also podcasting, I think that you've got such an interesting perspective on growing shows, on monetizing shows, on building brands, that maybe even if somebody's not listening to this and wanting to start a podcast, they would still get a lot of value from it. So let's just start about, how do you think about brand in 2025 and how has that changed since maybe a decade before?
Yeah, I mean, branding is everything. This new term, creator entrepreneurship, is popping up everywhere. Yeah. And that's because if you want to succeed as a business owner and you want to build trust and you want to sell, nowadays you really have to be posting content online. I just interviewed Grant Cardone like an hour ago, just now. And we were talking about this. And he was basically saying that a lot of people, they make up these excuses, like, I'm introverted, I'm shy, I don't think I can do this. And he says, that's selfish. That's selfish, because the way that you sell now is by showing up with purpose, with intent, serving other people. And the way that people see you now is online. You've got to go online and post content up. And so building a personal brand for me is not a nice to have anymore. It is something that you need to do if you really want to be an entrepreneur. Now, if you want to work for somebody else, if you don't care about being an entrepreneur, then don't build a personal brand. Because now personal brands, you can either just be a creator and make money, or you can be a creator entrepreneur, right? So if you want freedom and you don't want to work for somebody else, you need a personal brand.
Yeah, and I love that you said the word selfish, because when I was first starting out, I started off my podcast and you were one of the earlier guests, I think, back in 2021. And now we do a couple 100,000 downloads per month now, and it's been freaking awesome.
It's great.
But before, I had this idea in my head that until I do this or until I get here, nobody's going to care what I have to say. And then a mentor of mine told me that that was the most selfish thing he's ever heard. And I was like, what do you mean selfish? And he said, you're letting your own ego, aka your fear of judgment, rob people and deny people of access to information that you have.
Yeah.
And that completely changed my entire identity and my entire mental blocks of content, because I realized I'm being selfish by not sharing what I'm doing. Did you have a moment like that, or were you always just kind of predisposed to the spotlight?
I always wanted to help people. So my original goal actually wasn't entrepreneurship. My original goal was, I want to help as many people as I can. I was we just had this behind the scenes conversation. I was of the mindset, I started my podcast 7 years ago, that I could never make money off my podcast. Yeah. That I could make money from maybe building a business and this and that. But my actual content, I was I'll never make, this is just a hobby. This is just to help people. This is just to serve people. That kind of mentality actually served me really well, because all I did was just give back, and build trust, and my audience trusted me. And then once I was ready to sell something, I had built all this trust. And it was my podcast really that got me the high ticket clients. So for my audience, I was just giving things away for free. I was just selling low ticket courses, stuff like that. But my guests were the ones buying the high ticket stuff for me. So that's a whole other.
Well, I think the word that you just said there, that's the $1 million word, is trust.
Yeah.
And so we see it in Hormozi's content. We see it in Grant Cardone's content. We see it in Gary Vee's content. In the beginning, everyone's like, oh, I need to go add as much value through short form as I can. That's how I'm going to build trust. And I would actually argue that without the long form, without the back end, I'm not entirely sure. I think that there's some creators that maybe are building $1 million businesses and brands off of short form. But short form is really just the spotlight to get the eyeballs and the eardrums to your long form, to your podcast or YouTube to make the big bucks. So
Yeah.
how do you view like short form versus long form? And if somebody's brand new to this and they're thinking, oh my God, like I don't know which one to start with, which one would you recommend?
I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I think the answer is showing up. Showing up every day in the feed, showing up every day on multiple platforms, having a consistent message, knowing what you stand for, actually helping people, right? I think that those are the things that are, it doesn't matter if you're long form, if you're YouTube, if you're TikTok, just show up every day. Maybe you're really good at writing or drawing or and you just do that over and over and over again. It's showing up every day consistently with your content, with your message.
I'm curious, do you have any rules of thumb or pieces of advice for somebody that's watching this or listening and they're thinking, okay, cool, I know that I do have value somewhere that I can offer to the world through social media, but what value do I offer and like how do I package it? How do I draw that value out? What value is actually valuable to people? And so I'm curious, do you have any frameworks on thinking through that?
Yeah, there's a couple ideas that come to mind. Number one, if you're like, I don't know what to talk about, you're probably not ready to talk about something.
Ooh.
Like if you're like, oh, I don't know what I would talk about. It's like, okay, then you're obviously have not specialized in something. Okay. That's number one. But I don't want to discourage someone because you might have stuff to talk about that you don't realize. Like, let's say you had a big transformation, you lost a lot of weight. Let's say you got out of a divorce or your personal journey could also be your content and could be, you can pivot. So it could start off talking about your personal journey. Some people create content just cleaning their house, just organizing. I think what you need to think about is like, what do people tell you that you're good at? What are people like, oh my God, I love the way that you dress. Maybe start doing some fashion stuff, so what do people tell you're good at? That's also like precursor of like what you could build a business around, right? And then if you really feel stuck, like you need to pick something, lock in and focus and get better and better and better at it so you can speak authentically, confidently, and have people want to follow you because you actually have something meaningful, different to share, a unique perspective. And so I just feel like that's where you need to start. So you could document your personal life and just be an influencer who's literally, those influencers we see and we're like, why are they even popular? It's like, because they're just showing you their life. And for some reason, everybody thinks it's aesthetically pleasing, it's interesting, they're beautiful, whatever it is. And the other thing I'll say is that like there's multiple relationships with your audience, right? So a lot of people have this fear of, I can't post until I'm an expert. But you can have so many relationships. You could be the cheerleader, right? Your whole brand could be just hyping people up. Like I'm empowering women and it's not that I'm so powerful. It's just that I'm empowering everybody else.
Yeah. And you can always help people a few steps behind you. So the pieces of advice that helped me the most were in the beginning. It's just, if you don't know what to talk about, just talk about your personal transformation. So like, what have you done? What was the before and after? And if there is no after, then you shouldn't be making content yet. You should be doing the interesting thing.
Yeah.
Because I think that even I've been guilty of falling back into the trap of being too much of a creator and not enough of a creator of actual just like real life stuff.
Yeah.
Like IRL, go in real life, do some cool shit, and then they'll come back. And so ironically, I did a podcast with this guy named Ben Wolf, and I'm buying a hotel with him. Like we're building a $14 million hotel together. And I keep saying no and no and no to all these opportunities because I was just like, oh no, it's not my core business. But then I finally saw that. And I was just like, you know what? No, this is freaking sick. I'm going to do this hotel with him.
Yeah.
And so that's something interesting that you can talk about. And then after that, I love Hormozi's framework from $100 million offers where you take like, if you have a result that you're trying to get people, then you just break that down into subcategories and say, okay, cool. Like weight loss. Okay, what are the problems associated with weight loss? Grocery shopping, dieting, cardio, and then you break down what are the 10 solutions to each. And those are videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you done anything like that or any rules of thumb?
Yeah. Something that I would say, something that I work with my clients, nowadays, the algorithms have changed. Okay. So everything's based on like interest relevancy, which means you need to figure out what are people searching for? What are people looking at? And how do you align your content to that? And nowadays, like the algorithms and there's social media platforms, they're scanning your content. They're scanning the keywords in your, it's not about hashtags anymore and basic stuff like that. It's about like, what are the keywords in your content? What words are you saying in your video? What are the imagery in your video? What are the comments saying, right? So how do you figure out like, what is the keyword that you want to be capturing? Put that keyword in your handle, put that keyword in your bio, put that keyword throughout your content. And it's not just one keyword, right? You can capture attention in multiple keyword clouds, right? So it could be like, what are your 3 keywords that you're going to align to? And like, that's your content strategy. I want to own these keywords on this social media platform. Then you need to figure out the features and your hooks and all that kind of stuff. But like, at least you know, like, what are my core topics and what are people actually searching for? The other thing I'll say is like, you got to stand for something. If you are talking about all different things all the time, nobody knows what you stand for. So come up with like 3 key messages. Pillars to your brand. For me, it's like, you're never too old to learn something new. You know, life is limitless. Like, you have unlimited potential. So I always talk about like my journey and like different stories of people who, you know, learned something new when they were older and like still won, you know? So what are your core messages, and like what stories do you have related to those messages? And then you want to repeat it over and over again.
Yeah.
A lot of people are afraid of repeating their stories, but like really, you always have new eyeballs come into your pages, and so you want to keep repeating your hero story, basically.
Yeah. You want to know my opinion of your brand when I'm watching?
Yeah.
Like, so when I see you, so it's funny that you said the pillars, because when I see you, I've been following you for what, like 3 years now, and I'm seeing, okay, cool, like it's a combination of being like badass business owner but still super feminine. Like, I feel like that femininity kind of comes through in your content.
Yeah.
Like, even with your sets, with everything, you make sure everything is like polished, everything's bright, it's colorful, it's popping.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm still going to take you to town, like when it comes to this business stuff, but it's like, we're going to look good while we're doing it.
Yeah, I love
And like,
that.
that's the brand. So, I mean, when I think of you, that's what I think of. And when I want people to think of me, it's like, I want them to think of, I'm the quit your job, travel the world guy. Like, where the hell is he in the world right now?
Yep.
You know, and he's going to help me leave corporate America.
Yeah.
And so I love that you said everything about that. There's one thing that you said where it's trust and then attention. And I think that you're better than most people that I've ever met at finding undervalued attention. And so you found it on LinkedIn, you found it through podcasting. So what is undervalued attention, do you think? Maybe explain what it is in general for people.
Yeah.
And then where do you see it right now in like social media?
Yeah, such a good question. And this is something that Gary Vee talks about is like this I actually interviewed him about his new book, and we talked about this. So undervalued attention is basically like a platform where there's lots of eyeballs. People are logging in every day. For example, LinkedIn has 135 million daily active users, okay? But less than 6% of those people are actually content creators, okay? So 135 million daily active users, less than 6% of them actually post content. They just like, they just share, they just take viral action. Yeah. So LinkedIn is still a great example of a platform that has undervalued attention. I'll give you another kind of example of why LinkedIn is so awesome. I am a big influencer on LinkedIn. I have 270,000 followers. I've been posting on there for 7 years. I have lots of engagement. So I actually remove a lot of followers. I'd have a lot more followers, but part of me like hacking the algorithm is removing inactive people. And I get a lot of reach. So I get like...
Wait, how do you remove followers from LinkedIn?
Connections, first connections.
Okay.
So I make sure that my 30,000 first connections are actually active and take viral action. And we can go in LinkedIn Navigator and see who hasn't logged on in 3 months. And if they haven't logged on, we disconnect from them. And then we bring in somebody who's online taking viral action to help us go viral, basically.
Damn. Okay, we're serious about LinkedIn. Okay, tell me more.
Yeah, well, that was like a side thing. Like, what I really wanted to talk about is the fact that I'm going viral all the time, and I'm getting 100,000 impressions on my posts, millions of impressions, views a day. I'm able to compete on LinkedIn with Alex Ramosi and Gary Vee and Mel Robbins and Damon John, and I'm literally getting as many eyeballs as they do on LinkedIn. There's no way that I could compete with them on Instagram. It's just not happening. But I've been able to create this lane for myself where on LinkedIn, I'm competing with the top of the top of the top. And that's like where I'm able to get the eyeballs for really cheap. You know what I mean? Like, I don't pay ads. It's just all organic. So that's an example. the other kind of platforms that I think are really undervalued attention right now, I'm so bullish on YouTube. I just feel like
I am
YouTube
too.
is where it's at. I'm like so obsessed. Like, you know how I said I figured out LinkedIn, I figured out audio. I'm figuring out YouTube. I want to crush on YouTube and I'm so focused on it right now. So like my main thing is like I want to blow up on YouTube. And to me that feels like one of the only platforms left that like you can go viral and it's where I want to put my attention.
My favorite quote about YouTube was Russell Brunson was talking about, attention. He goes, every single social platform that's out there, like you have to pay for reach. Basically, if you want to promote your stuff, you want to boost your stuff, you pay for reach. YouTube is the only platform, the only social media that pays you for reach. They say, hey, you're getting millions of views. We're going to pay you money because you're getting millions of views. Rather than on Instagram, I go get a 1 million view video and they're like, hey, you want to boost this for 2 million?
Yeah.
And then it's like, open up your pocketbook,
Yeah.
And a huge thing that I've done, because I was candidly being a bitch yesterday, straight up, because I was like, I don't want to do this, I'm kind of burnt out on content. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then somebody on my team reminded me every single time that I say this, I have them say this quote back to me, which is, oh, okay, cool. You want to do paid ads instead? Because it's either you're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to get the eyeballs or you're making the content.
Yeah.
And so if you're a business owner and you're not making content, just go ahead and say, I'm going to write a check for $100,000 instead.
Yeah.
So walk us through going back to YouTube and podcasts. I think those are like the top two when it comes to building trust and building audience. It's the most valuable audiences of both. So what are you learning so far about YouTube? And then we'll pivot to podcasting because that's where I'm stuck and you can school me.
For YouTube?
No, we're just now getting started on YouTube. So we're baby beginners in YouTube. But podcasting, we've been in that top 1%, but we haven't been growing without paid.
Okay, we'll talk about, so first off, I have a podcast network and I've got like 40 shows and I get such a unique like perspective of things because I always get to look at everybody's numbers.
You see behind the hood.
Yeah,
which is hard.
And there's lots of people that I reject and like, you know what I mean? So it's like I get to see like everyone's back end stuff that nobody else sees. And so it like gives me clues. And one of the things that I've just really realized that like there's two things with video and why I feel like it's important. Number one, all the biggest shows have a simulcast component. Like I know that's obvious, but it's like massively, drastically bigger than all the other big audio shows. So like a big audio show might have 500,000 downloads a month. A big YouTube show has like 4 million views a month. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just so much bigger.
Night and day.
The second thing, and that's because it can go viral. You can't go viral in audio apps. Like it's not a thing. Like audio apps are consistent. Video is like big swing, go viral.
Yeah, video is attract new audience. Audio is retain current audience.
Yeah, so like audio is great for consistency and for engagement, and audio is still amazing, but video is like where you get the new stuff, and it translates really well to like TikTok and Instagram, and like that all like feeds each other, where like audio is like totally different, So that's the other thing. The second thing that I'll say is that now advertisers, they just buy like your podcast, and it can be on audio, it can be on video. I sell my podcast as a simulcast across my audio, my YouTube, my LinkedIn Live, and my Spotify video as one package. You want an ad? It's $12,000, and I'll run it on every single episode of the month on my audio, on my YouTube, on my Spotify video, on my LinkedIn Live. And now if there's like, if Clubhouse comes back, if I can stream a whole video on Instagram, whatever it is, my podcast is wherever I choose it to be, and the advertisers just buy it. So like, why not just grow your video platforms and find that undervalued attention wherever it is and then monetize it with your ads? So that's why I'm just like really, really obsessed with this right now. In terms of like how I think about YouTube, first of all, like I have 60,000 subscribers. So it's not like I'm like, Mr. Beast or anything, right?
Well, you're going to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm going to figure it out. But like we've only been trying for like a year, you know? So first off, every video is like its own thing. It's similar to like how every reel is kind of its own thing. Now you can go viral if you have 100 followers. You don't need 100,000 followers. So that's number one. Like I've got videos that have gotten hundreds of thousands of views, thousands of comments, even though I only have 60,000 subscribers. So every video is its own thing. the most important thing about your video, believe it or not, is your title and your thumbnail.
Oh, 1,000%.
Nothing else matters. Like,
Yeah.
the content matters. Watch time matters.
In the first 10 seconds of the video.
First 10 seconds of the video. But, like, you would be so surprised of, like, I have a new vendor that I've been doing like, all these tests. And I have a new vendor who was, like, responsible to grow, like, Daily Wire's channel. And, like, they'll take the same video and they'll just do a different thumbnail and a different title and it'll go viral. And I'm like, this is the same freaking video that we just posted 2 months ago.
On short form, we're seeing that with, I don't know what you call it, but it's the, like the little text bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll do 10 different variations of a video on TikTok before it goes to my Instagram, and we'll just do different text bubbles, and then literally it'll be the difference between 1 million views.
Yeah. The other thing is like hot topics. It's like anything about AI does better. Anything about the economy does better. Anything with somebody controversial does better. Stop worrying about like new content. Take your best stuff and just keep making clips and keep like just anything that like worked. Like, okay, like we had Peter Schiff on and the videos kept going viral.
Like gold and Bitcoin?
Yeah, gold and Bitcoin. Like, okay, let's just keep doing more of those videos. AI, all right, let's keep getting more AI guests. So like aligning to hot topics and your best of stuff. Because if something's good, even if you recorded it last year, you know, bring it back and just keep doing it over and over again. So like bringing your best content up, leaning into the short form stuff, you know, keywords and like it is what it is. Like I don't think it's going to really move the needle. It's really about your titles, your thumbnails, hot topics, famous people. The other thing that I'm really into that I'm testing is like, have you heard of like WAP communities and Clipper communities?
I started doing it and then it was just too complicated for me with their interface. And then so I backed out, but I know like Eamon just like bought it or something.
Yeah. So like I'm testing that. We're basically,
the idea is awesome.
Yeah. So,
like where it's like the sub accounts doing all of the videos, right?
Yeah. So basically you upload long form content. I just like started my beta test for this. So no results yet to give you, but like I'm excited about it because basically you upload long form content to this community. You give them requirements like use this logo, tag this person, put this in your bio. And then creators basically apply to be a part of the campaign. You cap them at like, all right, I'm going to pay max $250 a creator. And then you pay them per CPM based on how viral their videos go. And so you just have the potential to just capture all these new audiences. And it's essentially like a new way to do paid ads. And because it's all on Instagram and TikTok, I just feel like it's going to really feed well into growing YouTube. So excited about that one too.
I'm super pumped about that one too. Yeah, that's something that we're looking at. The first bit was a little confusing for us, so we pulled out. I was going to throw like $10,000 at it. Yeah. And now we're pulling out, but I can see us getting back into it.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm going to go a little selfish real quick for the viewers. Sorry guys, but like Papa's got to get some help here. So how the fuck do I grow my show? Because right now we've been steady. We used to be doing paid ads. So we were advertising on like Overcast. We were doing like some on like Podbean or something. And Overcast, we saw the best. Player FM, we were advertising on, but that's all international. Yeah. And so we're just like jammed where we've been. And we're getting millions and millions and millions of views on social. Yeah. But it's not converting into back-end listeners. Yeah. And so there's a disconnect between what we're doing. And we just don't know what to do besides me literally just being scheduled on big shows every single month.
Well, that was going to be my answer to you.
Okay.
It's like you got a guest on the shows.
Yeah, we got to get back to it.
So the reason why it works, here's the reason why it works like long tail. Yeah. So if me and you do a swap on Apple Podcasts, which by the way, a lot of people say like Spotify is bigger than Apple. I see everyone's back end all the time, and Apple is much bigger than Spotify in the audio world. Most people's downloads are like 70% Apple and like 10% Spotify. I've almost never seen anybody with a huge Spotify list. Like it's very rare. The only people who have a huge Spotify following like own a keyword. And it's still, it's like 20 to 30%. Like I just signed somebody negotiate anything and like 20% of his, like a high percentage is 20, 30% is Spotify. And that's because he owns the negotiate keyword. But I see the back end of all these huge podcasters and nobody has more than 20% Spotify downloads.
That makes me feel so good because I've been so confused why Apple is like so huge for us, and we'll even post the Spotify link.
Because it's just not true. Like it's just maybe Joe Rogan has all the downloads of, and like all these big shows that they have are maybe just huge shows, but like the average podcaster, most of the downloads are coming from Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Period. And it's definitely like, getting more diverse, but 70% of all downloads for audio podcasts are coming from Apple. So you really want to optimize for Apple. So, let's go back to the guesting. So in my opinion, that's number one, to get high quality subscribers that will buy from you. Okay. There's different tactics. Like you either care about volume for sponsorships or you care about your own programs. If you want to sell your own programs, you're going to want to guest on shows, and not just huge shows. You want to guest on medium and large shows. And the reason why is if me and you do a swap, we have now an overlap of subscribers. On Apple, when somebody logs onto my page, it will say podcasts like this. And the podcasts like this are who has the most overlap of subscribers with your show. So if we did a swap and a bunch of followers followed, like my subs went to you, when people go on my show, it will say the Action Academy podcast, more podcasts like this. And that might stay up there for a couple months. Okay. But you want to maximize these swaps. So that means if you go on a swap, you want to be like, hey, can you play this on your show too? Hey, can we play this as a post roll? Like chop it up 10 minutes, put it on post roll and see if we can get some more subscribers and like maximize this swap. So it's like maximize your swaps, right? And do a lot. When I was growing my show, I used to go on like 5 podcasts a week. Go look at, I have like hundreds of interviews.
Yeah.
And I would just go on anyone's show. Now I need to be better at that because like now I've been building my business and like not going on shows.
Same.
But like
I'm like, dude, do I need a podcast right now? Like I want to just grow I want to grow the business.
But like, look, Grant Cardone freaking came on my show today.
Yeah.
Like the top of the top, Alex Ramosi came on my show. Like they're still going on shows.
Yeah.
So what is our right to be like, oh, I'm too busy to go on a podcast? It's like, this is the name of the game. This is how you get new audiences. So guessing on shows. The other thing is like, I probably have told you this before, like you got to do one-on-one combat in the DMs. People are engaging on your content. You got to spoon feed people the links to your show.
Literally.
So like we're DMing people. I have like 4 people who are literally their entire full-time jobs is to be DMing people all day. That keeps me at the top of the charts. That keeps me like, if I have a webinar, they're promoting that. But most of the time it's like promoting my podcasts. Go listen to the podcast. And then, by the way, drop us a review if you liked it, And so engaging with the community, giving them the link to the show, that's how you bring people from social media to your podcast. So if you've got a lot of engagement on social media and you feel like those people are not listening to the show, that's your fault because you need to actually give them the link. Hey, did you listen? Hey, follow. Like my team will give them the link and then be like, let us know what you think. And then follow up like, hey, did you listen? And they'll be like, yeah, I loved it. Cool. Can you drop that as a review?
Yeah.
Let us know what you think, make them a part of your world.
We've been doing a lot of like ManyChat CTAs too in the stories. We found that instead of doing like huge thing we've discovered was when we're posting, like instead of posting like, hey, so-and-so is on the podcast, like click the link, versus like, hey, like we just did this podcast, here's what you're going to learn, this, and this. And then you tag them, you say, reply this, and we'll send you the link. It's like 100x.
Yeah.
It's so much bigger because then it drives engagement to your story versus people just clicking the link, which I would have I have 312,000 followers. I'd have like 14 people click the link versus 400 people respond. And now it's a conversation because nobody's like really caring about clicking the link for like the podcast.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, okay. Like Hala did another show. Brian did another show. Cool. But if I'm like, instead of saying, hey, Land Podcast, go check this out. If I say, hey, like I just did this podcast with this guy that's making $1 million per year flipping land. Like if you reply to this story with land, like we'll send you the episode. And I'll get like
so just like short and sweet, not like a clip or anything.
No,
just
not even a clip.
This is what we talked about.
Black
Click the link.
screen.
Love that. I'm going to do that. I love that idea.
I'll send you the Venmo afterwards. Venmo request. But yeah, no, it's like a black screen or it's just like, whatever background you want to put and you literally just post that in like big text. And then what it does is it drives engagement to your story.
Yeah, yeah.
And then your story will pop up and I'll hit like 30,000 people with my story because it like everyone's engaging with it. And then the ManyChat keyword will send it. And then all of a sudden, now you've got a conversation started.
So you do it as a ManyChat trigger in your story, not a reel.
In my story.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That's
you have
so
them reply.
easy.
Everything that we do, we don't do any more links and stories. We only do ManyChat and you reply.
For the stories.
Yeah, and the story will like do 10x read.
Yeah. And then you don't want to post a million stories after that. You want to just like let it rock,
Let
right?
it simmer.
Yeah, you got to let it rock.
Because like, well, I mean, now my DMs are, I mean, like the DMs are insane.
Yeah.
And so it'll be like 1,000 DMs a day. And so, 800 of them will be with people that we're like shooting the podcast over to and talking about Action Academy. And then you'll have like 100 of them are just friends and like homies, and we try to bucket that. And then the other ones are just commenting on my profile saying, "Take me with you." And so we gotta go through it because I'm like, I want to message some people. So we're working on a process right now.
Oh gosh, good luck.
Yeah,
good luck. We got a single man over here, guys.
We're funneling through right now, so it's working. But no, the story CTAs really, really work.
Yeah, I love that.
So any other things that you're seeing with podcasting?
Yes.
What we're trying to work on is like hook. I mean, we're almost viewing it like YouTube now, where it's hook.
For the audio podcast?
We're filming the audio like for this. When we edit it, we'll edit it as a YouTube video first. We do everything video and in person now. And then it'll have like the sizzle reel, the intro, and then we'll format it and edit it to where it's like highest interest. And sometimes we'll move bits and pieces around.
Yeah.
So it maximizes retention. And then we'll rip the audio. So we design it for YouTube, and then we rip the audio and put that on.
Are you putting on? Okay. I have a lot of questions, but before we back up, so I want to back up a bit because it's so much like more, unfortunately, on the audio side, content is so important. Content is important to retain people, but it's all about how do you attract people.
Yeah.
Right? That's that problem with podcasts. And what I've figured out after seeing everybody's back ends is that the people that just have like a really strong keyword are crushing it. And they're not trying hard, and they're not big on social, and they're not promoting their show. And like everybody else is like, just like keeps like climbing, spinning our wheels, trying to get people to the show. And then somebody's just like, well, like I just signed a podcast called Negotiate Anything. He doesn't post about his show on social media. This guy gets 300,000 downloads a month, pure organic traffic, beautiful stats, everything clean, never done a media buy in his life.
What?
And it's because he owns the keyword negotiate. And he was smart enough to not put guest names on his episode titles. And so all of he has got like, 700 episodes that are just pure keywords without anything that confuses the algorithm, driving back to the term negotiate. And he's like, Hala, I want to change my show name. And I was like, no.
We're not doing anything.
Yeah, I was like, you don't understand how good you have it. Yeah. I was like, are you posting on social? No, I should really be posting. He's got like 100,000 followers on Instagram. Like, he's got decent following, but it is not coming from his social. It is coming from PSO. And PSO, podcast search optimization, is like the name of the game. And I've seen this over and over and over again. I used to, there was like this show like The Motivation Daily. So you have the same problem I have. Nobody is searching Action Academy.
No.
Nobody is searching Young and Profiting, so I had to like tooth and nail get every subscriber. I should have called it Young Entrepreneur.
Well, your thing also is like double whammy because like you were Yap before Yap became Yap, and now everyone's talking about yapping.
Yeah.
And so now, like, if you search Yap, like people are like, I just want to hear people yap now, and it's like now it's a slang term.
Yeah.
And so it's both. Maybe you benefit from that. Maybe you don't. Maybe it hurts.
I think I benefit from that, but the main thing is like you want to figure out.
You want to own your
keywords. So now like I have been like studying like Spotify PSO, Apple PSO, and
Apple sucks now.
It's good if you like all like the rankings, like so if somebody searches a keyword in Apple or Spotify, it's based on a few things. It's based on your metadata, which you can control. Okay, so your metadata is your podcast title, your author name, your podcast description, your episode title, your show notes, the first 3 lines. Nothing else matters. Yeah. Okay, so Apple and Spotify want to see you have the same keywords throughout all those things, and they're all ranked differently. So even just changing your title like massively changes your PSO. putting like keywords in your author name massively changes your PSO. And you want to have consistent keywords throughout. The other thing it's looking at is like, do people actually listen and stay on the app when they click? If you show up in a search, is it relevant? Is it sticky? And then they're also looking at your popularity. Now, on Apple, popularity matters so much more. So if you don't have a big show, it's just really hard to get visible on Apple. But on Spotify, it's not relevant. So if you, like, I went from like number 50 in entrepreneurship to like number 2, just changing and fixing my metadata.
Holy shit. Yeah, it's before an Apple, I could go and I could search my name. And so what I would do is before, it's like I was going on so many shows that I didn't even know when they would post. And we'd get a spike in downloads and I'd go search my name and see what was the latest show that I was guesting on that was live. But now when you search Brian Luebben, it's just my podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And if I just go up and search you, it's not even going to show any shows you're guesting on. It's literally just going to show the most updated episodes of yours.
Yeah.
And so I actually miss back when I could search it. Like if I wanted to see like, oh, what show has Hormozy been on recently? Like before it'd be like, okay, Young and Profiting, like Gary Vee, like all these different shows. But now it just shows his most recent episodes. And that's the Apple update that I've hated over the last year.
Yeah.
But hopefully that goes back.
Yeah. So are you on Spotify video?
No.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to do that.
It's very controversial.
Yo,
Are you on Megaphone?
I don't even know what that is.
Okay.
So go on.
Never mind.
Go on. Tell me more. No. So what are those? Like what's
I know so Spotify Video is a new platform that basically came out that I'm really excited about. Mm-hmm. And it's very controversial because essentially Megaphone is like Spotify's, it's like Anchor, but for like professional podcasters.
Oh, they want you to post through their platform.
Yeah, so host. Megaphone is like a hosting provider, but they help you input ads. You can upload your stuff to Spotify Video, and you're a perfect candidate because you're already doing a video first format, and they just basically rip the audio from your video, and you're not doing advertising. So you're a great, perfect candidate. I doubled my Spotify listens just doing Spotify Video.
Okay, so you have to sign up for a separate Megaphone account?
Yeah, you do it through Megaphone or Spotify Creators. Okay. The Creators platform, you can do it like manually.
Okay, so you just have to manually upload it even if you're hosting from something like Buzzsprout.
Yeah, I don't really know how to do it from Spotify Creators, but there's like lots of like articles about it, and you can definitely do it from there. And I think everybody's eligible now, so you should just do it. I mean, it doubled my Spotify. I don't have a huge Spotify following like we were just talking about, but I mean, it was a decent amount of downloads just right away.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll bring us back to, because most people that are listening to this aren't podcasters.
Yeah.
We're not starting podcasts, but I wanted to geek out with you for a second because we both love this stuff.
Yeah.
How do you balance brand with business? Because like you said, you have creators that are trying to do business on the side, but now I would think that both of us would identify as business owners that also do content.
Yeah.
How do you balance both along with personal life?
Yeah. It's tough. Sometimes I feel like I'm spread so thin and like I feel like I'm not a normal CEO. So like 2 days a week is just content.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're kind of getting back to.
Yeah, 2 days a week is just content, and then I have 3 days a week to build my company. So number one, if you're going to be a creator entrepreneur and the bigger you get, like the more that I get pulled in all these directions. And everything just keeps getting sexier and sexier to keep pulling me in all these directions. Make sure you have a great team. Like I've got 2 business partners. My COO, Jason, we're like in negotiations where I'm going to give him a big chunk of my company to really help me because it's just not feasible to grow. My company's about to hit 8 figures this year. I can't keep scaling it just me 3 days a week. And, you know, I don't work through the weekends anymore. Like I used to be really, really crazy. And like, I want a life now, you know? So like, I just have to hire help. And that means giving up equity that, you know, like, and, you know, motivating a team. And I would highly recommend like homegrown, you know, so from the start, don't try to do it all by yourself. From the start, have interns, have people that are like more junior and let them grow with you until you're ready to kind of, okay, let me give you like some equity for being loyal, for being smart, for helping me build this. And then that's going to give you more time to keep building the brand, right? The brand to me is like number one priority. Sales cures all. And what gets the sales It's building a brand where people come to you and you're not having to chase everybody else. So what are the highest leverage opportunities for me to build my brand? What are those undervalued channels that we can just keep maximizing? What are the big shows that I can guest on? The big I was at Funnel Hackers Live in February on stage, 7,000 people, huge opportunity. But like, for example, I got invited to do some like conference. They were going to pay me like 10 grand, which is not a lot for me right now at all. And like
Big money Hala. All right, continue.
it just wasn't worth it. And like, I felt really bad because I wanted to support them. It was going to be like 300 people. And I was like, I told Kate yesterday, one of my business partners, I was like, I just don't want to do this. I don't want to waste time on a presentation. It's not big enough. There's no long tail. I'm going to like, I know myself, I'm a perfectionist. I'm going to want to do like this incredible presentation from scratch and like derail myself for 2 weeks in our peak sales season. Like, I have to say no to this, even though I feel bad.
No's become more expensive, but more important.
And so I canceled that event.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. Like, yeah, $10,000, cool. But like, I'll make more money just focusing that week, you know, like way more money. So yeah, I guess the key thing is that building a brand is really important and you can't do it alone. And if you want to be a creator entrepreneur, you're not going to be able to be like the most incredible CEO without having a really strong team because you just simply can't. There's not enough time to just do everything.
Yeah, you can't do it all at once. So you've been doing this, what, like 10 years now? Like building this brand? How long has it been now?
7 years of the podcast, 5 years of my company, the social podcast agency, and just 2.5 years with the network.
Yeah, so we'll call it 7 years. Over the last 7 years of doing all of this shit and like becoming the new version of you, what are you most proud of?
Ooh, what am I most proud of? I'm proud that I was able to do this as like a minority woman. I'm really proud that I was able to build such an incredible business as a minority woman, especially I'm Palestinian. So I'm like a really tough minority to be in this world, in this media world. And so like, I'm just really proud that I was able to do this. And I'm really proud of the team and the culture that I've built more than the money and everything like that. I'm really proud of like the community. I started my business with a volunteer team and many of those people are still with me today. They've got equity in the business. They're leaders. They've grown. And that's just like really awesome.
Yeah. How do you balance? I mean, because your answer is probably the same as mine, which is like working at it. But how do you balance pushing for the future for what you know that you're striving for and you're driving towards versus also appreciating like how far you've come?
Yeah, like gap and gain mindset.
Yeah, gap and gain. Because we both just had Ben back on the show.
Yeah, Ben Hardy.
Yeah.
How do I balance like I think that I generally don't feel in the gap that often.
Okay.
Like, you know, things are not always perfect. I think as you get your reps as an entrepreneur, you just get punched in the face so much that like the next time you get punched, you're like, it hurts, but I know it's going to be better tomorrow. You know, like it's just like you just get punched so much that it just stops feeling so personal. And then you're like, this is like part of the game. And by the way, the next person I get on a sales call, they don't know that I got that no. They don't know that I got ghosted. They don't know that so-and-so left my network even though we crushed for them. And like, they don't know all that drama. So you got to show up like a psychopath on your sales call.
Yeah.
And just have that mindset of like, nobody knows what's going on. I got to come with full confidence and get the next deal. Like you can't be in that gap if you want to be like really good at sales, close more deals, build your business, and also motivate your team. Like I can't let my team know if something goes wrong. It's like, yeah, everything's great. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, that sucks so bad.
Yeah.
No, I've been there. Yeah, and like the world's falling apart, and then they're complaining about something, and then you're just wanting to snap so bad, or you're freaked out, like you're scared. You're like, I don't know if we're gonna survive through this.
Yeah.
And then you have to put on the brave face and say, hey, we've got this.
That's what it's all about. And you've got to do things that will like prepare you for those days. Like you got to make sure you've got like at least 3 months of runway. You had a good year, great. Don't take a distribution. Keep it in the business.
Yeah.
Have some runway so that like when things happen, you're like, well, it doesn't matter. And by the way, having an audience is your security blanket. At any point in
1000%.
time, if something goes wrong, I'll be like, all right, I'll put out a course.
Yep.
I'll make, 500 grand, put out this course, do it twice or something.
Do a
Spend a month
coaching,
on
do a
it.
workshop, do an
Cool, we
event.
got 500 grand, we're good. I don't want to do that right now. I think the network, I think other things are more scalable. But at any point in time, I can literally drop a course and make money. And that's because I've invested in my audience. You know what I mean? So like having all these like your audience is your security blanket because you can just pivot. Okay, what is everybody actually asking me for what they want? And I'll just start making money that way if something else goes wrong,
Yeah. What's some advice you can give to somebody that is looking to do everything that we've talked about and they want to become an entrepreneur, they want to build a brand? What's one piece of advice you would give them?
Get your reps in. Get
Yeah.
confident at something. Be an expert at something. Try things, If you're 20 years old, go intern, I have to say, AI is scary.
Yeah.
Right? AI is going to be taking up all these like entry-level jobs. We are at a pivotal stage where like you can still get a job. You can still get an internship. You can still get experience. In 5 years, that might not be the case.
True.
Okay?
Seriously.
Even me
Yeah.
now, like it first started with me hiring international talent to replace the US talent. And now it's going to be AI that's going to replace the US entry-level talent, right? And so you still have a chance, but people don't want to pay for it because they can go international, they can use AI. So work for free, get the experience now while you can. Trade your time because you don't have money, right? Trade your time because you've got the time and learn. And then just get really good at something. And there's lots of ways to learn on your own now. Like you've got the internet, you've got YouTube. You really have no excuses. So I would say learn something, get really good at it, teach others, and build a community.
I love that. That kind of leads into my last question, which is if all of your content was eliminated from the internet and nobody had any idea of who Hala was or anything that you said, and you wanted to leave them with one final point where you're like, this is the one thing, one piece of content that I want everybody to remember me by, what would it be?
It's really simple. How you do anything is how you do everything. Like if you put your 100% in like literally everything that you do. Okay, I just rolled out this thing with my team called the Proud to Ship checklist. And I changed one of our core values to right the first time. Okay? How can you be right the first time? Just how can you make sure it's okay to make mistakes? It's not okay to make mistakes twice, right? How can you think twice, ship once? How can you make content or do anything that you do? You've got a sales presentation. How are you going to make it just amazing? You got a podcast coming up. How are you going to study for it and prep for it so the guest is like, I was just on with Grant Cardone. I've literally done 10,000 of these things. This has been incredible. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of feedback that's going to be like, okay, cool. Now Grant's going to remember my name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, how are you going to do better, be better, create things that you're proud of, and stop cutting corners because nothing good in life comes fast. And it's like just get better and better and do what you can to like upskill yourself and learn and read and absorb content, learn what you need to learn, and get your reps in.
Yeah. So if people want to get better and better and get their reps in, where can they find out more about you?
Young and Profiting podcast. So it's a top 10 business entrepreneurship podcast, a top 100 podcast. You can go to Young and Profiting on any podcast platform. If you want to learn about Yap Media, it's yapmedia.com.
And if you want Hala to look at your back end every single day, join her podcasting network and she will check out your back end intimately. Hala, thank you so much for coming on. It's a long time coming.
Yeah, so thanks so much, Brian.
It's been Hala and Brian with the Action Academy podcast, signing off.